This is Yuki Crash for part 2 of our really cool shooter game. So for now, we just have this pretty boring game where there's this guy and zombies spawn on the edges. That's really boring, but I'm sure we can make it a lot funner. So first of all, I think the zombies should chase us, because otherwise it's really boring. So I'm going to make the zombies, the second they spawn, start chasing us and point towards us and all that. So I'm going to drag in a repeat until. I'm going to say touching hero. And they are going to constantly point towards the hero. Not the bullet, the hero. And then they will move. Speed steps. So Z speed steps. Okay. Then I'm constantly also going to check if we are touching the bullets. If touching the bullet, then we want to change the Z life by -1. And we are also going to make a nice little animation. So I'm going to set the brightness to 100. Then I'm going to wait 0.1 seconds. 0.1 seconds. And I'm going to set the brightness to 0. Okay, pretty cool. And I'm also going to drag in a if life is less than, so if Z life is less than 0.1, this is just to be safe, it's not actually really necessary. We are going to wait a tiny bit, so let's wait maybe like 0.01 seconds, and I am going to change my score by the reward. Okay, so this should kind of work. Oh no, I forgot. Oh yes, actually it would work. So here we're walking around and we can shoot this zombie, and for some reason he never dies, so he's kind of immortal. So we are going to actually, so if touching bullets, we want to change the Z life by -1. And then, anyway, if they manage to touch a hero, we want to also change the player's life by -1. Okay, and I'm also going to wait a tiny bit before they delete. So wait 0.01 seconds. And I'm going to delete this clone. Okay, so I think this is good. Yeah, I think. Let me just check one thing. The Z life, yeah, I'm going to also rename this sprite to zombie. And I'm going to change the bullet to if touching edge and duplicate that into the OR, and if touching edge or touching zombie. So now it stops once it hits the zombie, as you can see. But the zombie still doesn't die, even though it should, because it ran out of lives. So actually the reason for that is just because we did not delete the clone once everything was over. So I'm just going to delete this clone right under the change score by reward. Okay, so now if we play our game, it's actually pretty fun. Basically, we can shoot the, oh my god, and the zombies die. So basically, if I shoot this one, it will die after 2 shots because it is normal. And I'm also like the flashing effect. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Okay, that's really cool. So next, I think we should do a number counter to see how many zombies we killed. So you know what? Actually, to show the score, because we want to get more score if we kill the strong zombie, because the strong zombies are harder to kill, and vice versa. Okay. So we're just going to, I think I'm just going to make this white. And I'm just going to type in the numbers from 1 to 10. From 1 to 0. So 1, send to that. And then call this costume 1. So I'm just going to duplicate that. And I'm just going to change the checks to 2. I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to change the checks to 3. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to change the text to 4. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to change the text to 5. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to change the text to 6. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to change the text to 7. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to change the text to 8. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to change the text to 9. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to change the text and the name to 0 here. And here also 0. So make sure that your costume number 1 is called 1. Number 2 is called 2, number 3 is called 3, number 4 is called 4, number 5 is called 5, number 6 is called 6, number 7 is called 7, number 8 is number 8, number 9 is called 9, and number 0 is called 0. Okay, so this will be the same number counter than in the counter tutorial. I will show you a card up there, if you want to check it out. And anyway, I'm just going to simply, when green flag clicked, I am going to simply hide, and this might actually be a bit difficult, but I'm sure we can make it. So I'm just going to I'm going to create a new variable called digit for this sprite only. This is important, for this sprite only. And I'm going to set digit to 0. I'm going to hide these variables. I'm going to then repeat 20 times. I'm going to repeat 20 times, and I'm going to change the digit by 1. And then I'm going to create a clone of myself. I know this sounds a bit confusing, but I'll explain it later. So then when I start as a clone, I'm going to drag in a forever loop, and then I'm going to drag in a if else saying if, and I'm going to drag in a more than operator. If digit is greater than the length from the operators, if the length of score, and then I'm going to say if, well then we are going to hide, else we are going to show, and we are going to switch the costume to letter digit of the score. And I'm going to also go to the position at the top of the screen. So I'm going to go to drag in a minus, and on the left side of the minus I'm going to drag in a multiplied by operator, and then I'm going to drag in digit on the left hand side, and then digit times, let's say 12, depending on the size of your number, and minus 240. And I'm also going to make a y of 160. Okay, so now it should be a number showing our score. So basically, it's right up here, and if I kill a monster, I will get 2 points, and for this one, I should get 5 points. And this one I should get 2 points, and this points too, and all that. Okay. It also depends how much each zombie gives you, because like for example, this zombie will give me 2, and a red zombie will give me 5, and a purple zombie will give me 1. See, for example, if I kill a red zombie, I will get 5 points. Okay, that's very, very cool. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to wrap this up by just creating a heart sprite. So just to check. And this is only part 2. There will be another part in case you are wondering. So I'm going to zoom in a bit and draw a circle like so. And I'm going to rotate the circle something like this. And I'm going to copy it and paste it. And I'm going to overlap it. And I'm going to flip horizontal. And I'm going to put it like this. So it looks something like this. And this looks like a pretty cool heart. I'm gonna center it, and then I'm gonna copy it, put it there, and I'm gonna copy it again, and put it there. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to call this 3, and I'm going to duplicate this, and take one of the hearts away, and I'm going to duplicate this, and call this 1, and take another one of the hearts away. And actually I'm going to draw a crack inside, just for fun. So on the very first heart, I'm going to draw a crack for every single one. So here it's a small crack. Here it is a bigger crack. Here it is a almost touching the bottom crack. And then I'm going to duplicate this one final time and call this 0, and of course take away the 2 hearts. Okay. Now I'm going to go in the code, and I'm going to just simply say when green flag clicked, I'm going to go to X 200 and Y 160, and I'm going to forever first switch the costume to 3, and then I'm going to wait until the life equals 2. So I'm going to P life equals 2. And then I'm going to right click duplicate that and switch costume to 2. And then wait until P life equals 1. And duplicate that, switch costume to 1. And then wait until P life is 0. And I'm going to duplicate that and take away the wait until and switch costume to 0. Okay, this wraps up part 2. In part 3, I'm going to add a backdrop that shows game over once you're dead, and actually you will actually die when you will lose all your lives. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you in part 2. In part 3, of course. Sorry. Bye.